Hi everyone. So today's video is basically one that I should have done a while ago. Basically like a life update slash how I got my jobs here in Canada and just a little bit of story time here and there telling you guys about my life updates and how I've been navigating challenges, navigating life and then just pushing through. This is the month of August and the last video I did about a life update was in May, or was it April? I think it was April because that was like my 1 month. So it was in April. And guys, a lot has happened. Life has lived. And I'm just honestly really grateful to be standing here strong. I mean, I really don't see something, but that's a story for a different day. Let's start with the job thing, right? Before I came to this country, and even after I came, the job market is one of those things that you hear about. People are like, oh, it's hard, it's this, it's that. And if I'm being really honest with you, it's not easy. I'm not going to come here and say it's so easy to get a job. It's so easy to get a job. It really isn't. I don't think anywhere is actually. But this particular country, coming in as an immigrant, it's sort of harder to get a job if you don't know people, because to be honest, it's not even about having the perfect CV. Your CV does matter. However, your CV will only do it will only do so much. So you actually have to rely on other things, which I'll be telling you in this video. So when I got my first job in this country, I am super duper duper grateful for that job. To be really honest, it really wasn't what I wanted, but it was sort of like a survival job, right? I'm grateful for that job. Don't get me wrong. I love that I got that job and I got the experiences from that job, and it just sort of took me to it was like a stepping stone. You get me to a greater height. But before I got that job, guys, I was super duper duper anxious. I was just seeing lots of, and you know how the devil works, right? I was just submitting applications day in, day out, sometimes about 15 a day. Some days I would do like three, I would do seven. So it wasn't even really about the quantity of applications because basically your CV is really important. However you're applying for a job, it's really important that you're positioning yourself to be like a fit for that job. Now, what do I mean? It's really important that you look at the job description of the job before you apply. So I started doing that and it actually did work because within the first month I was here, I got my first job. So when I got my first job, I was really excited for it. I was really happy. It was in like an IT company. It wasn't really like a big position, but it was something to get me started off right. And I was so happy. I was so grateful. Rejection mails would come. Like I knew that coming into this country, I knew that I was going to get rejected like for a season because rejection is something that you have to just brace yourself to accept. In this country, you need like 2% CV, you need like 6% referral, you get me? And then you need like, within 92% grace slash favor. I'm telling you, like the grace of God is highly underrated. However, before I get to that point, people were referring me for jobs. I was tweaking my CV, yet I was still getting rejected. I was super duper frustrated. Um, but when I got the job, it came at the perfect time and I am grateful for it. The job was really, really stressful. It was really hectic and it was just something that I did not want to. I did not want to, continue with long term. So I'm not going to talk about the details of the job. However, just know that it was something I was not really comfortable with. So it was like my survival job because I was just fresh into the country, and because I didn't have any other like Canadian experiences. Trust me, employers always look out for Canadian experiences. That's one of the things that sort of hinders people from getting jobs when they come into the country because they do not have that Canadian experience, right? So even if you're coming to the country and you used to be a doctor, you used to be an engineer in Nigeria, if you're coming here and you do not have that Canadian experience, to an extent, you're already like in a losing battle. So it just takes the grace of God. Your first job may not be what you actually want. I mean, if you get your dream job at your first as your first job, then congratulations. However, your first job is very highly not going to be your dream job. It's going to be like a survival kind of thing. So I got that job, and if I begin to tell you guys how God used that job to elevate me, I can't even say that. Like, it's going to take a lot of time. I don't want to go into those kind of details here, but God literally used that job that I hated so much to catapult me to this point. Now, I'm not going to talk about like, okay, in order to get a job, you must do this, do that, because there is no one size fits all kind of recipe, right? What worked for somebody else technically may not have worked for me, and what worked for me may not even work for someone else. I'm not going to tell you that you need to do this, do that, do that. However, there are some standard things that you do need to do. First of all, you need to align your CV. Your CV needs to be in tune with what the job entails. You need to look at that and then like, know what you want to do in order, like you need to align your CV with that. That's the first thing. Secondly, you need to not be quiet. Do not keep quiet about looking for a job. If you need a job, literally reach out to people, let people know, right? Do not keep quiet. Open your mouth and talk. Let them know that you're looking for a job and you're not too proud to do anything that aligns with your goals. Because I won't tell you to go be a cleaner if you don't want to be a cleaner, right? So just let them know what you're looking for, and also be specific. Because if you tell someone I'm looking for a job and they ask you what are you looking for, you can't just say, oh, anything works. You have to know exactly what you're looking for, right? And then let them know, and then from your mouth to God's ears. Which brings me to God. Literally, do not take God for granted in this journey. Like, it has been, like, I can't even begin to talk about like all the things that have happened in my life in this country, and I just see that the hand of God is evidently in it. Do not, you know, when people say like things like, oh, that when you leave Nigeria to come to Canada or to go abroad, like the prayer requests sort of goes down, like people don't really have like a relationship with God and stuff like that. I'm not saying I'm perfect. However, you will just realize that without God, this country, you will just be suffering. I'm telling you, you will just be suffering. Always pray for favor. Favor is so highly underrated. Always pray for favor. Let the favor of God, because even till today, if you ask me how I landed this my current job, I honestly have no freaking idea how I got this job. Like, first of all, I applied late because I did not want to apply for this job, because I have applied to this company before I got my first job and I got rejected, not for the exact position, but to the company, and I got rejected. So when my friend sent me like the link, I did not want to apply for it until like later, and I don't know, I just like, okay, let me just do it, right? So I had to like submit my CV, and in turn they sent me an assessment. I did that, and I was called for my first interview. I did the first interview, and then they gave me another assessment. I did that, and then I had another interview. Like, the whole process wasn't lots, right? But how I managed to go from one stage to the other till today, I do not even know how that was possible. I don't know how that was possible. So, guys, I'm telling you the honest truth. Like, God literally has to be like, just put all like, just trust. Just put my trust in God. I'm not preaching or anything, but I'm just telling you guys what has worked for me. um, Jobs here. And the one thing I've actually realized is that, see, the way we used to hold degrees in Nigeria like gold. They would tell you 2-1 needed, masters needed, BA, whatever needed. That is literally not the same pattern here. Like, my first job, I literally was working with people who just finished secondary school, right? I'm being really frank with you. And then there's me with a BA, a master's, and a PDE, working with people, like collecting the same salary with people who just have um, high school diploma certificates. Guys, I'm not saying that school is a scam or like you shouldn't go to school. I'm just saying that do not put your hopes on your degrees. Do not put your hopes on your, oh, I have a master's, I have a PhD, I have this, I have that. It's important. However, it's not a guarantee that you're going to get a job when you get to this country. It's not a guarantee. There are people that have master's degree and they're still, looking for jobs up and down. So I would say, instead of investing more in degrees, masters, all of that. If you know what you're looking for, right? Like you know that you want to go into finance or analysis or anything, look for certifications in that field and actually do them, guys. Actually do certifications because in this country, licensing is everything. Even to you see those in Lagos, you'll be passing, you see pure water, you call them mineral, you call them. In this, you can't even sell anything without a license. You can't be passing on the road and you see somebody selling or hawking water or drinks or nothing like that. So in order to do anything, you need a license. Now, in most career fields here, if you want to get that license, you have to have certain certifications. Okay, so do not go putting all your money in degrees, and at the end of the day, you realize that they're not helping you. I'm not saying that having these is a guarantee of getting a job, but let's be honest, like it really takes your takes you sort of higher, right? Takes it higher. So just know what you want to do, know exactly what you want to do before you come to this country, and know what you're looking for. Know what you're looking for, guys. Know what you're looking for. I can't even stress that enough. Because if you do not know what you're looking for, you will do anything. And in doing anything, you will realize that you've done nothing. I'm not trying to like talk down on people or look down on professions. However, I know that like many of us want like the big girl or the big boy career. We want, the office or the work from home, the one that comes like the car or the house or anything. And I get that, right? However, you cannot get that if you do not know what you want. You can't come to this country and you say, I'm looking for just anything. Looking for just anything, I'm using my hands too much. Anyway, looking for just anything would literally get you just anything. And you don't want to do that, okay? Know what you're looking for. So basically, that's it about jobs. I have a wonderful job now. I literally work from home like 4 days in a week, and then I go to the office once a week. My job is amazing. It is less stressful than the one I was working at before. And I'm just so grateful that God really gave me this job because I did not even know how much of my previous job I could take. I called my auntie several times, like, I'm going to quit today. I'm going to quit tomorrow. I was always threatening to quit, always threatening to quit. But I am super duper glad that, God took me through that process because I know for a fact that if I really maybe hadn't gone through that, I wouldn't have appreciated where I am right now as much as I am currently appreciating it because most days I'm working and I remember what I used to go through at my previous job and I'm like, God, I thank you. God, I thank you, right? Okay, now I think I've covered the career aspect of my life update. Now let's move to housing. As you can see, I'm in a new place. I'm in a new space. I am in a new place, right? I actually did a video on housing, on my housing issues sometime in June, but I've just not gotten around to editing and uploading, which I probably should do. So I had like a housing snag on at my previous place. It was not really a small thing. It's just drained me emotionally and not financially. However, emotionally, mentally, my peace of mind was just taken away. It was super duper horrible. But I am so glad I was able to get out of that situation before things got out of hand. I'm not going to say so much here because I still plan on uploading that video. However, I will say this, right? If you're coming from Nigeria to um, Canada or to any country, because I believe that this applies to any foreign country, my brother literally told me when I was in Nigeria, he was like, do not rent a house from Nigerians. And to be fair, or to be honest, it didn't really make any sense to me because I felt like if I'm going to a foreign country and if I have the option of living with a Nigerian and a foreigner, I would rather live with a Nigerian because, it's just going to give that vibe of, home, your people, and stuff like that. Guys, don't make that mistake. If you have the option of living with a Nigerian or a foreigner, pick a foreigner. I'm talking based on my experience. I'm not saying that all Nigerians are bad. I'm not saying that Nigerians are terrible. However, I'm saying that if I have the option to choose between a foreigner or a Nigerian, I would definitely choose a foreigner, because a foreigner, at least they understand that the rules, they understand the rules, and then they know what they can and cannot do. Nigerians will always bring this exploitation mentality, and it's just horrible. This is why the rest of the world has a negative emphasis on negative um, notion about Nigerians, because guys, we are the architects of our problems. The way we treat our fellow Nigerians, I mean, the exploitation, the harassment, the everything, it's just a lot, guys. It's just really a lot. I understand that foreigners aren't perfect either. However, a foreigner would not have done what that Nigerian did. I'm still going to put that video up, but just to give you like a backstory, right? The lady just wanted to make money off of me because she felt like I was new in the country and I had a sort of like a good job. I was earning money and I didn't really have bills. To be fair, I maybe I do not have so much bills. I mean, it's just me. I don't have any children. I don't have any siblings or anything here. I do have family at home I send money to once in a while, but that's not really bills. You get me? Like I don't pay for car insurance. I don't drive. I don't pay for car insurance. I don't pay for. I'm not paying mortgage. What I do, I just pay for rent, pay for light, pay for Wi-Fi, pay for transport, pay for food. That's basically it. And you know, so she felt like I didn't really have so much bills, so she could sort of make money off of me. But I'm not a fool. You get me? I'm not a JJC. I am new in the country. I'm not new to earth. I'm not new to life. I've been in this life for what, 26 years. I'm not new to life. So because I am new in the country doesn't mean that I'll be Olodo. And thankfully, I am so glad that I have people in this country, like I have family in this country that I can talk to and they can let me know of my rights. Because if I was probably alone in this country, I wouldn't even know that I have certain rights as the the citizen. That's why PR is so important. I'm not saying that students or work permits are different. I really don't know. However, as a PR holder, you are literally a citizen, more or less. So she obviously maybe thought I was a JJC or I was alone in life. I was alone in the country. So she felt like she could like, take money out of me. And of course, we had to let her know that, wrong lane, you don't park for the wrong spot. Carry your car, go back. So that's realization of the fact that she wasn't going to take money out of me. Just made her start behaving anyhow, and she brought someone else to the house who was also a total disaster. She literally threatened to send me packing. Like I was paying rent, so I'd already paid rent for the month. Yet she still want to throw away me commode. So it was just a whole lot of mess. I am still going to upload that video. Honestly, I'm not even going to know when exactly, but I eventually will, because I do want people to learn from it. Guys, I want people to learn from it. It is crazy. And another reason why I'm like Nigerians is you won't believe that even after all of this issue, and my friend and I plan to rent together and we're looking for houses, yeah? My friend is Yoruba. So we we actually went to a particular house, and like they had their basement, very wonderful, cute, furnished basement up for sale, up for rent. And then the family, who are also Yorubas, are like they don't want to rent to an Igbo person. Like I'm Igbo. So they're okay with renting with my friend, but they don't want to rent to me because I'm Igbo. To be honest, yeah, at first they were like, they don't want to rent to ladies, they don't want to rent to women because women cook more. And of course, now cooking more is more light, more, we go still pay for our work, but I don't know. So they were like, they don't want to rent to ladies. However, I think they probably like, okay, let's just rent to ladies. And then they now said that they're not going to rent to us, on us, because I'm Igbo. Guys, when I told my mom this rubbish, my mom was like, what? Even in a foreign country, people have brought your tribalism to Canada. People have brought your yeah tribalism to Canada. So that day, I just knew that I wasn't going to rent a house with or from a Nigerian. Honestly, I'm not. And thankfully, I'm actually not. The person I rent a house with right now, amazing, wonderful Ethiopian. Come and see, I'm having so much peace of mind because they are so respectful, and I can literally keep something here, go out and come back, and it's still there. Nobody touches my things, nobody enters my room. Guys, at my previous place, my drugs, my supplements were going down. I still have my plates missing. My head warmer is missing, and I am so freaking sure that somebody was tampering with my underwear drawer. I'm not even making this up, right? I'm being so damn serious. Like, I know how I keep my things. I know the order I arrange stuff. So when I come back and I see it in a particular way, I just know that somebody has been here. You get me? Now, because like there was no lock on the door. I don't know how their houses are, but you can't just lock like your individual room. You can't do that. You can only lock it from inside, but not from outside, right? So I couldn't lock my room and head out. I had to start hiding. I was hiding stuff. I had to start hiding stuff in my own house, guys. How uncomfortable is that? Oh gosh. So like my housing crisis was just a lot. I am the number of times I cried in the month of May and June, only heaven knows. Only heaven knows how much I cried. I literally was weeping my eyes out every day. I had a bad job, I had a bad housing accommodation, whatever. It was just horrible, like no peace of mind. You leave your house to go to work, no peace. You leave work to come back home, no peace. It was crazy. But honestly, I am so lucky. I am so grateful. I am so blessed. God has honestly brought me out of that situation. I love where I'm at right now. I'm not saying that it's going to be perfect forever, but I'm not where I used to be. And I'm grateful to God for that. Okay. So basically, guys, if you're looking for a house in Canada, please know who you're renting from. That's one. Secondly, please have some sort of written agreement. Oluwamiu. Have some sort of written agreement. You see, my brother literally told me this thing. No, not be said, I don't know. I knew. My brother is in the UK and he's been there for almost about 5 years. So he knows what he's talking about. I don't even know why I wasn't listening to him. He told me I should have some sort of written agreement. Guys, that was one of the things that I did that I still regret not doing, right? So there was no like written agreement on rent, on like bills to pay. There was an agreement on like who does this, who does that, like nothing like that, right? It was just because like and I let my guard down because we're literally Nigerians. I felt like bad as bad. They don't go like they won't treat me like a stranger because I am also Nigerian. That was one problem I had. I was really too trusting because they were Nigerians. Guys, they're the ones that actually even did what because oh gosh, it's crazy. I told my brother the whole thing and he was like he told me that I shouldn't, go into a housing agreement without an actual agreement. Like we should have it written on paper. But thankfully, I was smart to have, made like most of our communication be like on WhatsApp, so chat. So I had like screenshots of, verbal of, no, not verbal, of agreements, some important agreements. And I am so glad that I had those because if I didn't have that, I would have literally been at a loss. I would have lost about $400. I'm telling you the honest truth. It was crazy. So please, guys, know who you're renting from, know who you're renting with. Very important. Also, please have some sort of written agreement for your security and your safety. Because if I didn't have that, and I didn't have someone in the country who would tell me my rights, if I don't really throw me away for street, oh, like I would have been picking my clothes up from the road. I think about it and I'm like, thank you, God, because they would have thrown me out of the house. So, gosh, like it's just so traumatizing to be really, to be really honest, guys. So please, wherever you're going to, I would not recommend Nigerians. I would not recommend Nigerians. I would not recommend them. Go and try it with foreigners. Go and try it with them. Go and rent with foreigners. Leave Nigerians alone. We are our own problems. Honestly, I'm not surviving, but I have to package. Anyway, I think I should be done with this video for now. I don't have a ring light, so my son is the sunlight. My son is my light, and he's telling me to wrap up because it's already going down. I think I'm done for now. That's basically my life update. For now, everything is going wonderfully well. I am super duper blessed. I am. God has just really, really, really been faithful. God is just amazing. Don't. God is really just amazing. I can't even say much, but God is amazing. So if you're coming to this country, please, guys, pray. Yes, please pray and just trust in God. Okay. I think that's all for now. That's enough life updates for now. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.